Today's challenge: the diversity of manuscript evidence for the New Testament creates problems for us in reconstructing the original text. Okay, so let's actually make this objection a little more powerful. Let's get into the specifics. So how many words do you have in the New Testament? Well, you have over 138,000, right? I think it's 138,162 words in the New Testament. Now, according to a skeptic like Bart Ehrman, he says that you have, in the New Testament manuscript tradition, 300 to 400,000 estimated variations. So for every one word of the New Testament, you have anywhere from 2 to 3 variations. Okay, so those are the details. So this is a problem for Christians who want to reconstruct the New Testament. You have hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of variations amongst the manuscript tradition. So who in the world would have any confidence that we could reconstruct the original? Well, really the way to deal with this objection is to move towards it, is to say that's right. That is accurate when it comes to the amount of variation amongst our manuscript tradition. And so there are some objections like this you want to move towards, because in doing so, you kind of really defang the objection. And this is one of them. So we move towards this and we say, yeah, that's right. Those are the details. But when you understand the facts surrounding textual criticism, how the New Testament is reconstructed, you actually realize that this is not a problem for the New Testament. This is actually why we have so much confidence in the ability to reconstruct the New Testament. So scholars, textual critics, are going to look at 2 key criteria when reconstructing in any ancient document, not just the New Testament. They're going to look at the time span between when this document was originally written and when we have our first manuscripts, our first copies. But a second thing they're going to look at is the number of manuscripts, right? How many do we have? The more we have, the easier it's going to be to reconstruct the original. The more we have, the more we can kind of compare and contrast these ancient manuscripts to reconstruct the original. Now think about it. What if we had 0 variations amongst our manuscript tradition for, let's say, the book of Mark? Let's say we just had one single manuscript for the book of Mark. That would leave us with 0 variations, right? Because there's nothing else to compare it to. But just because we have 0 variations in the manuscript tradition, does that mean we therefore have more confidence that we can reconstruct the original? Of course not, because we just have one single copy. We have nothing to compare it to. And so here's the question: why do we have so many variations within the New Testament manuscript tradition? It's because we have so many manuscripts. We have a wealth of manuscripts. In fact, Dan Wallace, New Testament scholar, he says we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the manuscript tradition for the New Testament. We have so many variations because we have so many manuscripts, 2 to 3 million pages of text. So this isn't a problem. This is a huge positive in our favor. It gives us the ability then to take those manuscripts and because we have such a wealth, to accurately reconstruct the original. And of course, as the challenge even mentions, the vast majority of the variations in the manuscript tradition are insignificant variants. Things like misspelled words, punctuation and grammar, word order that's misplaced. Even a skeptic like Bart Ehrman himself says that none of these mistakes have to do with theology or ideology. They're just kind of simple slips of the pen, accidental omissions. So over 99% of the variations are of that nature, and so they don't affect the New Testament text. And so actually, because of this, we have so much confidence that what we have is what was originally written.